Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
Hey, T.
Yes?
First of all, I think that we should apologize for not having an episode last week.
Oh, sorry about that.
The official line that we're walking is that T had too much work to do. Not that it's her fault per se.
Blaming me?
No. I will say this. T, you had major work stuff going on, but quite frankly, we were feeling a little bit burnt out. So we just took the goddamn week off.
Because we can do that.
Yeah, but we are sorry. For those of you who were expecting an episode and did not get an episode from us, and we didn't say there was no episode
You're
coming.
probably wondering, did we not post anything, Elly?
No, we posted nothing.
Did anyone... We probably got so many emails. Did you check?
We got 0 emails.
Oh my God, there were probably so many comments on the Instagram. Did you check?
Well, because we didn't make an episode, we didn't make an Instagram post. But no, there were no...
The DMs. Were there DMs?
No.
PMs?
I don't know what that is.
Private message.
No one gave a flying fuck.
Okay, well.
But I know that there are people that did, and y'all just aren't the people to complain. And
Sorry, Jamie.
And you're probably our people that you wouldn't say anything. So we are sorry. There wasn't any real reason outside of just really being busy and burning out. So that is all. There's no drama really. And we're happy to come to with today's episode.
Oh, we're back.
Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg.
Here with Therese Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we forgot what we're doing. Yeah. Look at your script, Elly.
I'm really out of breath.
This is episode 101, I think. Remember?
We're discussing episode 363.
I know, but this is our 101, right?
Yeah, of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you dedicated your life to ending human trafficking?
Oh, that's a good title. It's very... That's it.
Apropos.
Dedicated
to eradicating human trafficking, a purpose-driven young man's world is shattered by a politician's unwarranted lawsuit, destroying his reputation and forcing him to find a new path forward. And full disclosure, I am the work for this is actually happening, and T does. I am the work.
Yeah, you are.
And T isn't the work, but she still has a voice. She comes in fresh. You kind of look at my cat, Westy, right now. And this show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's Trauma Bonded.
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Did you guys change how you name your episodes?
You mean the title?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for asking, T. Actually, based on listener feedback from our survey that we put out a couple months ago, we heard the message loud and clear that listeners really would like a more easily referential sort of title that kind of encapsulates the episode better. So if it's got less vagary, they can refer to it or find it more easily with a more specific title. And that is our goal, as we are trying to write titles that are more specific to the episode and more easily searchable, findable for the audience. So when years go by, they can easily find an episode that
they're looking for. Cool. That's so cool.
So in that spirit, we're trying to be a little bit more on the nose with titling. Just so it's more findable later. So T, what stuck out to you is the heart of Ray's story.
Well, I stuck with what I usually do all the time. And I went with one word for the heart of the story today. Still. Kind of ended with something similar.
Yeah.
Stillness.
About stillness.
Yeah. So stillness is what Ray found when everything was stripped away, right? His purpose, reputation, even his faith. And then in that quiet, as he said, he could really be himself, let his memories flow, and then he can embrace every version of himself, good, bad. But still also means he's still here, even after the wreckage. It also means he's still enough, even without his mission or his costume, right? His masks that he wore. And still is that here and that now, and how he kind of ended it, where we have the freedom of choice to where we go from here. That's why I chose still as the heart today.
It's really good.
Thank you.
I guess what stuck out as the heart of Ray's story to me was the idea that the human business is a really involved business. When we think about human trafficking, in a way, it's almost easy to get humans involved in trafficking because you're just sort of putting out carrots, if you will, to get people interested in doing the thing you want them to do. And then once they've fallen into the trap, you just close the trap and now you've got them. And you don't really give a shit about them, so they're relatively easy to take care of. You just kind of keep them drugged up or you hold leverage over their heads that keeps them involved. And it's just maintaining to extricate someone from that situation, that's a whole other thing. It's one thing to kidnap, abuse, exploit a human. It's a whole other thing to help a human live a happy life or a happy, healthy life. Most of us that haven't even been trafficked have trouble coming up
It's a struggle.
with how to live a happy, healthy life. So imagine someone that you've extricated from a life of trafficking and now they're looking to you for everything that they need, every human need that they have. That's a dirty business. That's a really uneasy, unforgiving, unrelenting, unrewarding business to be in, is to extricate humans from inhumane situations and asking them to thrive in their humanity again. That is a really difficult, really difficult path to choose. And it's unrewarding, it's unrelenting, it's needy as fuck. There's no glory, there's no money, there's no rewards really of any kind except for ones that you find in being a purpose driven
You're
individual.
probably doing it wrong.
And you're probably doing it wrong. And your success rate is probably really sucky.
Yeah, low.
Because you're fighting against situations and chemicals and people that is really hard to win against.
Yeah, even if you're doing it right.
You could be doing it completely 100% right.
Your
All
heart is there.
your intentions are
Yeah.
correct. And if you try to pull a person out who is drug addicted, who is addicted, who believes what their pimp tells them above everything else, who's been brainwashed completely, to completely transform, to save, to rescue that person. And it ain't a day. It's every day. Now, till the end of time. Think about that. You're basically taking on a baby who is an adult and is recognized by an adult, by every system around you. I admire Ray endlessly
Yeah.
because what he's set out to do is impossible.
So much easier to ruin a life, I think.
It's so much easier to ruin a life than to save a life.
Is. Is that your heart? What?
Yeah.
That was your heart?
Yeah. Isn't that?
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, no one said the hearts had to be positive.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Ray's story. He starts out talking about how he's the youngest of 3 kids, and there's kind of this family joke of "you were a mistake." I just thought it would be a worthwhile conversation, T. Like, how deep do you think those kind of sentiments go in a family? Because I feel like they're apparent in lots of families. It is sort of like a funny, like, "Ha ha ha, you were a surprise." But what does that do to a kid's psyche to constantly hear that they were not
Yeah.
planned or considered?
Well, I'll tell you this. My parents made it clear every single day that they prayed for me and wanted me all the time. And it was like their life's goal to have me. And I was a miracle. And everything about my existence is a miracle. And that's how I walk around the earth.
That's a lot of pressure, though.
That's also a lot of pressure, but that is how I walk around the earth. So they're both sides of the coin. So I feel like I'm pretty awesome, but then there's also a lot of pressure. Both are true. The how I feel. Not that they're true, but they're the how I feel.
I'm really glad that you said that because I don't wanna speak on my sister's behalf, but my middle sister, Sarah, after my parents had me, they were so excited about me. They immediately started trying to have another kid right away, and they couldn't. And so they gave a lot of money, they gave a lot of prayers, they tithed. There was this big offering, that they talk about, they told my sister, where there's a visiting pastor, and the visiting pastor said, "Hey, if you're believing for something right now, I want you to sow $100. I want you to put $100." This is back in, like, pre-1980. $100 then was like $1,000, you know? And they didn't have any money, but because I was so amazing, they really wanted another kid, so they put this $100 in, and because of that, allegedly,
Oh no, that's why.
my sister Sarah was conceived and born, and she's 5 years younger than me, and they always meant for us to be closer in age, etcetera. I am sort of airing my sister shit right now, and Sarah, please forgive me, but, there's one thing to be told you are a mistake. That's a whole different, like, way to manage the world. But there's another thing to be told you are a gift. We fought for you, we prayed for you, we paid for you, we tithed for you, we had everyone in any kind of position of authority praying for you, and you are a gift, you are a blessing, you're special, you have purpose. There's a reason God brought you onto this planet. So, think about that. It's almost as detrimental or it's equally heavy to be told
Oh.
we expect something from you from day one. I mean, think about that has its own pressure that comes with it. Yeah, you're gonna get maybe a problematic perception of yourself if you're told a mistake, but you're gonna get another sort of perception of yourself if you're told you are highly important, you were brought here, we can't figure out why, but it was a miracle. So you have this heavy like, crown on your head. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the kind of pressure that comes with, "You shouldn't be here, but you are." What are you gonna do with that? And when life goes on and you've lived the life that you can live, and you've reached your 40s and you're still going, "What is this special life I'm supposed to live? Where does my Jesus-dom settle in? And or how do I access my special purposism?"
Right.
Like, what do you do with that? That's been like a heavy crown that she's worn. What do I do with that? How do I navigate what that looks like? Maybe I'm just living a regular, happy, healthy life, and that's okay. Is there something bigger that I'm supposed to be aspiring to? I'm just curious, T, like, since you got that same messaging, do you feel like you fulfilled this big purpose that your parents sort of set out for you early on?
I mean, we've got this podcast. So there's that. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I do feel good about my life, but I don't feel like I'm like the Messiah or anything. um, I'm not the angel of God.
This idea of purpose is something I think that we are all faced with, whether it comes from our parents or religion or a job or just us trying to figure out when you take a step back and want to understand why you're here. Purpose is a thing that people point to. Do you feel like you, one, have purpose / have figured out what that is? I mean, can we just talk about it for a minute? Like, what do you think your purpose is? Is it, and I'm not even trying to say that it's imperative that you have a purpose. I'm just saying that some people have to get through life with a purpose. It's too much for them to just exist.
Yeah.
So if you must have a purpose, what is it?
Yeah. I think I do have a purpose. Yeah. I don't know if I can verbalize it right now this second, but I don't. Oh, I'm feeling pressure. But can you verbalize your purpose in life right now? Probably. But can you do that?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't necessarily believe though.
Oh, you
in
have one?
purpose.
Okay. I think I have one. I think that I can't quite because I'm feeling weird. But I
It's not me making you feel weird.
it's you in your face. But you don't feel any purpose in life?
Mm-mm.
None? What do you mean? Of course you do. Yeah, you do. You have more purpose than I do. You're always with your purpose. You're always saying stuff with your lecturing and telling people to do stuff. I feel like.
Yes. Okay, well let's talk about it. What does purpose mean to you? What does that entail? What does that look like?
The why you're here and what you're trying to do with your life.
Do you think that someone else has set out that purpose or expectation for you? Or is that just a natural need of human existence to define purpose?
I think maybe you said it, but it's based on where you are in the world as you live with everyone else in the world, you know?
Yes. You said that you have purpose. What do you think your purpose
That's what I'm
is?
saying. I can't verbalize it right now, but I know I do.
But you could probably verbalize it in simple terms without getting too deep. Like, do you think it's to be like a mom and a dad and corporate bootlicker? Like,
Corporate bootlicker for sure. I mean, I was trying to figure out, but you're right, the corporate part and then the bootlicker part. So I think you did hit it. I think you did. No.
Just kidding.
I mean, I believe the children are our future.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm not saying having purpose is a bad thing.
No.
I'm just saying if we think about what purpose is, usually it's heavily lined with ideas of religion,
Oh, God.
the originations of it,
Ugh,
right?
no.
It's steeped in
No.
religion
My God.
and maybe American exceptionalism
Holy Mary, Jesus.
and maybe
Don't.
the patriarchy,
Oh, man. Oh,
maybe feminism itself.
oh,
There is there are
sacre bleu.
isms and ists and orgs that are telling you you have a purpose, and they're all trying to gain access to your purpose for some reason. And what is it?
I'm not trying to be culty about it. I'm just
I'm not saying it's necessarily culty. I'm just saying, where do we get the idea that we need why is it important for us to have purpose as a human being? What can I just exist?
Be. You
Can
just
I
want to
just
be.
be?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
that's your purpose.
To just be?
Yeah.
Just walk the earth?
Of course.
But is that enough?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
And I don't think that we're going to come with an answer completely right now, but I think
Think
it's an
about it.
interesting
Leave it
conversation.
next week. Leave it
I,
for next week. I'll think about it because I don't. I'll think about what my purpose
I
is,
think
and
it's
then I'll write it down.
I think it's interesting to think about
But just
where
like
we get the need to have purpose from. Like what systems are telling us our humanity, our lives only matter if we have purpose.
that's not saying it only
No,
matters.
I'm not saying you say it. I'm saying we're getting messaging from religion, sociology, socialization,
Totally.
American exceptionalism. These are all systems that are beating themselves into all the time. And it comes out with, I have a purpose. Why am I here? What is the point of my life? Why am I here? These are important
You
questions.
gotta zoom out. You gotta zoom in. You gotta zoom in.
These
Zoom out.
are the motivations that keep us going, whether we want to accept it or not. What am I doing here? What's propelling me forward?
We gotta do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be sitting on your couch, not doing anything for the rest of your life.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Would we be doing this if we didn't think we had any purpose?
Well, this is the ultimate question. Where,
Who are we talking to?
let me ask you this. Can I be a full human without realizing my purpose? Can I just be born and sit on that couch? I get put on a couch, so I stay on the couch. And I sit there and I watch TV, and everyone's like, Elly, where's your purpose? What, don't you have anything to do? What's your purpose? Why don't you go out there and do your purpose? And I was like,
To be human is
and I
know that you're human.
And what if I just find that humanity from watching television shows on my couch? I'm not under the orders to make the world a better place, am I? That was a quote from Reality Bites. Okay, let's move on because we are already 30 minutes. We haven't even started. I didn't know purpose would like.
I'm all about purpose, so you gotta watch out.
Are you? Because you felt afraid to say what you really thought about
It's a little
purpose.
scary.
Oh shit!
You gotta watch out. It's scary. No, really. I'll tell you later.
This is it. This is the place to tell me. Why are you telling me here?
I'll tell you later.
If you guys want to know an insight on tea, we'll record something really salacious and embarrassing and controversial. And her first reaction is, cut it. I'm like, this is what people want to hear.
It's embarrassing.
But that's what makes it interesting.
Dude, 90% of the embarrassing stuff gets in here. Don't worry.
Cut it. Got all that.
Dude.
Okay, let's talk about this poor dad who loses his business. I mean, this is the fuck all of capitalism, right? Like,
I mean, that's
like you set up a business for yourself and you lose it, and it's to no fault of your own. You know, all of this tea could be gone in a second.
Domino effect.
Could be gone in a second. And this is, to me, the great flaw of capitalism.
Yeah.
There's tons, but the great flaw of capitalism is there is no mercy.
If
this is going to fall because of the market desires it to fall, it will. And
that's
you
just
will
the
just
beginning.
go down with it. There's no mercy for you. And so think about a dad in the 1960s in America when everything was like, I am doing so well.
It's scary.
An interstate changes its route and all of a sudden you lose everything. That's going to fuck you up, and it's going to start making you be into younger chicks. That's just a part of it. It seems to be a part of it.
You can't help who you fall in love with.
Well, or what kind of crisis you're going through. You leave the mom, she's depressed, and the dad says to you, even though you're not the oldest son, you're the man of the house now. What does this kind of commandment do to a kid? I feel like this is so ubiquitous in these situations when weak ass men leave their families behind and then tell like an 8, 9, 10-year-old boy, you're the man of the house now. like this is some replacement for you. It probably actually is because that's how sucky you are as an actual man. So go find your other home, whatever. No judgment. But like who these messages that we send to kids in divorce situations, you're the man of the house now. What? I don't want to be the man.
Oh,
The fuck?
you got like 40 years on me, dude. Like,
What about my older brother?
I know what about the older brother? What happened there? We don't get any.
And then the poor wife he says,
Yeah, okay, you are.
he was my husband for 26 years.
Awful.
Dude,
Now I'm gonna fall into your arms and you have to take care of me, child.
why do you keep dropping me, child?
Yeah.
To me, the worst effects of post World War II America were bestowed on the women in these situations because these men are coming back heroes. There's this like economic freedom and starting that's never been seen before. And all these women have to do is like buy Crisco, make cookies, put their kids in knickers. Like that's all they have to do. But they don't have anything else. They
They're
don't
completely dependent.
Yeah, they don't have any education. They don't have or they have very little education. They don't have any kind of like career aspirations because they're just they're depending on the men in their lives to lead a household. And then they get bored with you. They get depressed. They don't know what else to do. And they leave and they start a new family. And what are you supposed to do? Infantilize your kids.
Now the kid has to feel like they have to take care of you.
Well, and sorry, I you know, I feel like the women of this era get infantilized too, and it's not their fault. They were sold a lie. The man didn't abide by the lie, and now they're left
Yeah.
they're the ones left out in the cold. Think about that statement. He was my husband for 26 years. Think of any relationship you've ever had ever. One, have you had any relationship that's 26 years old? And two, if it's a romantic partner, think about the depth and the width and the intimacy and the horror, like all the things that come, the childbirth, the rearing, the homes, the just all of it that comes in 26 years. Like that's a serious fucking
Especially if you're completely dependent on them.
and you're completely dependent. What is she meant to do? Of course she's gonna be beside herself.
It's not like you both had jobs and you had your own lives, you had your own friend, the whole thing. Nowadays.
She bought into all of the lie, and he didn't. He knew the trick of the lie. He knew that he could walk away without any repercussions and start a whole new thing. She's the one left feeling surprised and shocked and bewildered and without any mercy from capitalism or society, including the Catholic Church. Let's talk about that, T.
Oh, God.
She's shunned by the church, okay? And let me just make this clear, if you guys haven't figured this out already. The church is a very important arm of the patriarchy, okay? And the patriarchy has no interest in protecting women once they've had their children.
Why are you staring at me?
Because that's fucked up.
Okay.
And I want someone to
Why are
look
you
at me. I'm not mad at you, but I want you to look at me and know, human to human, that's fucked up.
That's really fucked up. That's why I left the Catholic Church when I was about 2. It's like, this place is fucked up. The hell is this?
This place is fucked up, mommy.
Hypocrites, all you.
And this establishes sort of a pattern of Ray rescuing his mother. And he makes this really important point where he says, my father didn't just leave my mother. He left his sons. What do you think about that, T?
Yeah, he left her for another woman, left him for another son.
Mm.
And I feel like he didn't really even get to grieve that.
Mm.
He had to focus on his mom's grief, really, and didn't get to rescue himself or right at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was also abandoned. and he didn't get to think about that.
I mean, I can't imagine seeing my parents split up and then one of them going and just like having a whole other family.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time. But imagine what that point of view is for your kid who's like, what? What? I thought you were my mom. I don't know.
Yeah, like, do you like you're somebody else's dad now?
It's weird. Weren't you?
So, like,
You were your dad's second
yeah,
family.
yeah.
Do you feel like your siblings from your dad's first family situation, I mean, you've since met them and developed a relationship with them. Do you feel like they have expressed that they carried resentment toward you at a
I
time?
haven't expressed it, but we don't really have. I'm I'm I have more of like contact with my half sister, but they haven't outwardly expressed that necessarily. I'm so much younger.
Do you think about that?
I think I have the privilege of being so much younger and not having had thought about that. I was well, first of all, with him, I think that other woman already had the son, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, my dad married my mom after having left that other family and then had me like years later.
Yeah.
So they're all like at least 10,
Yeah.
15 years older than me. But so
And it's not on you, it's not your fault. But do you get a feeling from them that they might have had a hard time thinking about you?
I know they had a very hard time thinking about me, but some of them have completely separated from my dad. Like they don't even consider him their dad.
Mm.
Yeah, they've disowned him. Yeah.
And as a person that you are, like, and you felt really you were really close to your dad up until his last day, like, what does that make you feel? What do you, yeah, does that make you feel, or how does it make you feel when you hear that other kids of your father hold him in disdain, which is not a way that you hold him?
Well, it's confusing, and I think and I've joked about this a lot, and I should probably go to therapy again, but I think we've talked about this a lot. I'm really good at compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
I consider him a completely different person when he was a father to them and he was a father to me. There's, again, a 10-year gap. But to me, he's like literally a different person.
Yeah.
And people can change, and people do change. But from what I understand, I'm pretty sure he was like a bad person when he was their parent, when he was their dad. Because I want to believe what they have said about him and honor what they've said about him, because he's never told me anything about them. I don't know his perspective.
He's
He
dead.
never, and he's dead now. And he's never shared anything about them. I only met them after he died.
Yeah.
And then but my experience is completely different from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a completely different person.
But
Yeah.
but you're able to hold two ideas of him in your head at the
Very,
same time.
very easily with no emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Ray the gay.
With no emotion. With emotion, let me clarify. The emotion part is, I'm sorry, that I feel really terrible for my half siblings and what they experience. And I won't get too much into it, but what they experienced was bad. I don't want to get into it about them, but
You empathize.
I empathize
Yeah.
with them.
And you acknowledge that your experience with your father was
It
different.
was different.
And that's
And I
okay.
feel really bad for them about it.
But it's not your fault. It's not their fault either.
And it's definitely not their fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I say no emotions, that I don't
Change how you feel about your dad.
change how I feel about my dad. Yeah.
Fair. So Ray the gay,
Ray the gay. Yeah.
gay Ray.
The heterosexual Ray the gay Ray.
I mean, I guess this fucks a kid up in like the 60s and 70s in America. Is this the most scary thing to be in the 60s and
It
70s?
scared the shit
Gay?
out of me.
Well,
I was gay.
I'm so glad that you said that. Was there a time when you feared being gay the most? Like your top fear?
For sure, right? Right? Was it a fear for you?
No.
Oh, was it?
I had lots of other random fears, but
What were your fears? Not being gay? Not being called gay? Was it not a thing for girls to be called gay?
no.
Oh, it was more for boys
Yeah.
to be called gay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was probably a problem for me just because I was gay.
Do you feel like you carried around this secret fear for years that one, you'd either be discovered, or two, that there'd be judgment around the discovery
But I think both, yeah.
for years?
Years and years and years. Well, because I didn't even know I was gay, but then I thought I was gay too. It was very confusing. I didn't know what was going on.
What did you think about Ray's talking about his experience of bullying around just his name being
Gay,
matched
Ray.
with gay? What, like, as a person that has actually feared actual repercussions around being actually gay, what do you think about a man whose name rhymed with gay?
Like if my name was Thespian. But so seriously.
Look, I'm not trying to belittle Ray's experience at all. I do think there's a difference between
Actually being gay.
actually fearing for your life for actually being gay
Gay.
versus your name rhyming with gay.
Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
However,
He talked about it for about 1 second.
but
He's scrawny.
he sets it up. He's like, this is the first time I've ever talked about this. Like, he has some reverence for this situation. My point is, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to like compare traumas or whatever. I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's one thing to be called, oh, gay Ray in the 90s. It's another thing to be called that in the 60s or 70s when, we've made progress, the gays and I, and, maybe it wasn't as progressive. Like, I'm saying the fear of being perceived as gay is probably been reduced decade by decade. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm not actually gay, so I'm asking you as a person who has felt this fear, and maybe it's also different as a woman although, I mean, if men hate feminine women, they definitely hate lesbians the most. Let's be real about misogyny. But although straight men really enjoy you, I don't know. I'm getting off track.
It's confusing.
Who hates who the most is what I'm getting at, and not at all.
Now I'm confused even more.
No,
I don't know. I bond with straight men.
I know. But we're never going to be able to know what it was like to be anything in the 60s and 70s. We have no idea.
I
This
think
is
you're
a
right.
totally different world then.
Yeah.
So when Ray
Genetic
is
bit.
expressing to be called Ray the gay or Ray gay or gay Ray, to attack his masculinity really is kind of the most egregious thing you can do to a white kid in Connecticut in these decades, probably. He goes to church when he's 26.
He's rejected. At this point, he had rejected religion because
Yes.
he'd be shunned. But randomly, he was like, hey.
There's snow at the window. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
He did go back in January when it sucks, and he realized he sort of belonged there. He was interested in this new mega church, so he was happy to abandon the ritual and rigidity of Catholicism and embark on this new, ooh, everything's so free and mega churchy, mega church way. And I thought this was interesting where the pastor was watching him Do you think that the pastor could intuit just by sight that Ray was the guy to be the stage manager? Like, what was the point of the story?
Was he like
Was he hearing from God? Like, that's your guy? That's him. Watch him. Watch him. That's him. He can handle all of your light.
got like a sore thumb? No, maybe he just knew that he wasn't like active in the church. Like everybody else is active, he wasn't.
Like, who's this guy? He looks like.
Fresh meat, this guy.
Should we take a picture of him? Or look at a picture?
Okay, yeah, because I didn't know what you're talking about. Yeah, let's look at him.
I mean, he's kind of a hot guy.
Oh, is he?
He's definitely like a white hot guy. Oh yeah, like he's that kind of guy. Oh yeah,
Okay.
he's like that guy
Okay,
dating.
okay, again. His shirt is so unbuttoned. Like, why is it so?
Yeah, look at that. With the
Okay,
little neck.
less unbuttoned.
Mom of the backyard picnic. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see more. But I see. That other picture I wasn't feeling.
And if we're looking at pictures that are available on @actuallyhappening, go to the @actuallyhappening on Instagram if you want to see photos of Ray with his 80s-ness, his 80s hotness.
So he's pro church now. And he gets.
And this is the 90s when like the mega church was everything. I was a part of it. Where were you, T? No, you're
Definitely not.
eating boxes and taking LSD. And this whole
Was this what, 98?
he's all
99?
his preacher, his pastor is telling you don't need to have a seminary education, just preach. And this is the pastors that I was under for like decades. You don't need any education, just go out there and do it. And Ray makes this point in the story where it's like, you can be doing the best things in the world, but when you're in a church, there's always going to be people that are giving you criticism for no reason. You're not interfering with their schedule. You're not taking money away. In fact, you're adding money. But there are always these fucking bitches that have something to say because they can't shut their fucking mouths up. And that's why churches are horrible places. So I wrote this church people are the most critical, true or false?
True.
Okay. And then there was this church.
Are there more?
No.
Oh.
Robert Schuler's church in California. Do you remember this when you were a kid?
No.
Robert Schuler's church. We watched his services at my grandparents' house. The Hour of Power, like everything that Ray's saying. Like he had this like
Schuler, yeah.
This crystal cathedral. Like he had this beautiful church in California, and my grandparents always had it on. And
I was like, what the hell is this?
and we were always kind of like told like that's not a real church.
Oh, it's not.
But that's what we were told.
Oh.
Did you know that you could be a church consultant and make shit tons of money?
No idea.
Yeah, I mean,
What a
neither.
wrong
What have
business.
I been doing?
Yeah.
I feel like I could pull that off.
Yeah.
Should I try?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't. I can't. It was the lesbian thing.
So Raymond kind of stumbles upon human trafficking. Like he legit was just like a pure white boy
Didn't know what the hell's going on.
living in the world and stumbled across some shit. And this was the most pivotal moment of his life. And good on him that he heard this was happening, and he went for it. He turned his life upside down to go for it. He thrives in rescuing people. And he knows, or this is a challenge for him to keep pursuing rescuing people because it makes him feel worthy. It makes him feel alive. It makes him feel enough. He is this purpose-driven individual, so it's really important for him to go, I am going to make a difference. No one wants to stop human trafficking. Why, T? Why?
Is it that nobody wants to stop it? Is that what it is? Or that nobody's paying attention? Is that?
Were you aware of it before this episode?
Yeah.
Were you aware that you were part of it before this episode?
Like, do I drink coffee? Is that what you're asking?
I love how you're looking at your notes. Like is that in here?
Am I part of it? Let me see. Did I write that down? I'm a part of it. Are you asking me if I drink coffee? Because I don't.
Well, okay. Well, that's not just bring it down to coffee, okay?
Because I don't.
Because I know you got phones and computers and iPads for days.
Computer.
Oh, he talks about iPhones.
Okay.
Here's the thing. The U.S. loves human trafficking. It loves slave labor. It loves labor, period. I mean, come at me. Challenge me. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm
Okay.
wrong. No, anyone can challenge me and tell me I'm wrong. The U.S. economy loves
Yeah.
human trafficking, labor, slave labor, and you know what it hates? Humans. Okay? It loves human trafficking and it hates humans. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh.
Tell me.
Oh. No. It's not. No. They don't want it. No. They just want to, buy stuff and cheap stuff. We don't want to know where it comes from. We just want to buy stuff. Let's not talk about it. Can I have it?
We got to talk about it, see, because it's like the next
That's what I said. Okay.
few pages.
I forgot to write it down. I crossed it all out.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It is fucked.
Yeah. Well, I'm not.
No, we should all be ashamed and
No,
embarrassed. And
No,
ab-
it's not.
we should
No,
all
you're right.
be
I'm not.
astounded.
I was taking the other side. I was taking the other side.
The pro-human trafficking side. It's funny, though, we don't say it like that because that sounds abhorrent, right? No one's pro-human trafficking.
No, that doesn't make. Sorry.
Okay, so
Let's not.
let's talk about it a little bit because it's really depressing and I don't want to
Okay.
spend too much time on it. But obviously, Ray talks about how their perception of human trafficking is that it's mostly sex trafficking, and actually 90% of human trafficking is slave labor, and there are kids born into it. And as far as like the sex work goes, like a lot of them are uh drug basically drug induced, drug wooed, controlled by drugs. If you think about child pornography, those kids never had a fucking chance. And there are a bunch of slime balls that exist that keep that racket going. And Ray talks specifically about these secret child porn galleries that existed on Facebook forever. Are we shocked that this could exist on Facebook? Are we actually shocked? No. And then he says that even today, thinking about what happens on the dark web, you can still find all that shit on X/Twitter. And that does not shock me at all. Imagine being a billionaire, T, for a second.
Okay.
You've exploited millions of humans over many years to acquire your fortune. Okay? And then you like have like a reckoning, like a John Wick moment, like a come to God. Everything's different. Imagine a billionaire taking on this type of work, right? Like how little you lose of your fortune just by trying to save a few thousand people from these terrible lives.
Okay. That sounds good.
It seems like something that could happen, yet no one does it. Why doesn't Jeff Bezos just commit himself to eradicating human trafficking? Why doesn't he? Do you have an idea? Do you have a thought about why he doesn't decide to do that? He's got
Yeah.
money that he'll never spend in his whole life, his whole kid's life, his whole grandkids' life. They will never spend any of those dollars.
I have no idea why you wouldn't do that.
What if I told you that some people only revere money? They only revere status, and really anything else is not of interest to them. Do you think those people exist?
Well, yeah, but
Even down to the cops, T. The cops. They don't make any money.
yeah.
But they get that the only money that is made is by stopping drug busts. When they stop a human trafficker, all they're doing is setting up a situation where the trafficked get the benefit of any residuals that are captured in that buy, right? So their only incentive in going after drug buys is that capture of those monies and those assets go back to the state and not an individual. How fucked up is that? And the victims of human trafficking are used again by the police to pinpoint drug sources so that they can get their own payday. I mean, forget about women being dispensable. Forget about children being dispensable. Forget about men being dispensable. Everything about all of our systems that we have set up here in America, and I'm not saying capitalism, but I am saying capitalism, everything points toward profit. And if somebody's not making you a profit, it gets thrown away. And that includes people too. And the more we know about these systems and the more we are educated about how it all goes down, the more it just keeps happening. It feels like it. I mean, maybe it's that thing. It's like once you own a Volvo, you notice every other person owning a Volvo. I mean, doesn't it feel like this endless cycle of corruption and suffering? And as long as humans keep being born and thrown into it, it will never end.
It's a sad reality, though.
But they came up with these butterfly stickers and they put them in airport bathrooms,
Oh.
etc. And here's a point that Ray makes, which is so true. It's so hard to get people out once they've been in these situations. It's much like the American judicial system. It's so hard to get out once you've been in. These systems exist to only exploit people and set aside a pure profit. They're all the same, and that's why it's so easy to take advantage of people, and it's so hard to save them. What does a sex worker look like, T?
You know, lots of skin and bling. Wigs. Julia Roberts? Does that ring a bell? Maybe like that.
Can you imagine being pulled aside by your pimp and what said to you is, that man has your money in his pocket. You better go get it. That's a fucking amazing, inspirational basketball speech.
Motivation coach. Thanks. I'm on it.
They're just people, you guys. They're just people.
Regulars.
No one looks like Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman. People are just walking around with clothes on, and they just happen to have a vagina, and there happens to be a pimp next to them that are fucking selling that vagina. And it's happening all around you in the airports and the bus stations and the malls or wherever you go. It's happening all the time. Ray goes after Craigslist, and this is when the Attorney General of Connecticut starts getting pissed. The most dangerous place you can be in Connecticut is between the camera and the Attorney General. And per Ray, telling the truth gets you enemies, and that is always the truth. Well, what happens is the Connecticut Attorney General, who is this guy who is trying to be something else, governor or something, senator, he doesn't like it that Ray has basically said all of his his legislative things about
charge for ads
on Craigslist. Yeah,
phone number.
It's all kind of bullshit. And Ray, and so this guy puts this lawsuit on Ray. It's a lawsuit just asking him to account for his it's like a misuse of funds sort of investigation, which is bullshit because Ray's organization only does like $100,000 a year. Anyway, it's nonprofit. But according to the government, according to the media, now Ray is on this list of bad guys, of guys worthy of being investigated, even though he's done nothing to warrant it, except for calling out the under-aggressive legislation pointed at Craigslist, which to Ray sort of missed the point. The point is, we can't capture these guys if we don't have cell phones to trace them back to. And he was basically pointing that out to the media, pointing out that whatever the state was doing to combat this crisis was not going far enough. He was speaking truth to power. It was important for him to speak truth because he cares about these people that are being taken into the systems. And the Attorney General of Connecticut, who wanted to be a senator, didn't like that. So he put forth this investigation. He's looking into a budget of less than $100,000 a year. I don't know if you guys know what, like, this is so petty. That is no money. That's nothing. I just spent that right now, $100,000. T, she just spent it too. You can't tell, but she did. So he gets to do that, and now Ray is fucked for years. What they're going after Ray is what this exacting cost is of extracting a human from a very terrible situation like human trafficking or sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And this is where I was talking about with my heart is humans are fucking needy.
They need stuff.
Guess what? You can rescue a human today and they're going to have the same fucking needs tomorrow.
They need stuff.
It's not like you can just...
Wait, you need another sandwich?
You ate yesterday, T. You gotta eat
You need
today?
another shirt?
You gotta go to the bathroom? Fuck you.
Yeah, what the hell?
You gotta sleep? Fuck you.
What the? No.
Humans are costly. Humans are needy. This is why the government hates you. Honestly, hates us all. Honestly wishes that most of us were dead because they hate that they have to take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
It'd be so much better if you were dead.
Yeah.
Humans produce waste daily. They need to eat every day.
Every single day. Several times a day, actually.
They need clothes. They need shelter. They need water. They need utilities.
So needy.
And throw in addiction on top of that.
Ugh.
Throw in domestic violence on top of that. You got to get rid of a pimp. You got to get rid of a partner. You got to get rid of like every person that's told them from day one of their life what a shitty ass person they are. You got to get rid of all of them. And then don't forget the trauma they have to deal with
Oh, God.
all up to this point. And you got to battle like what they're doing on social media to keep them entrenched in all of these systems. It's a lot of battle fronts. You have to go to battle on so many fronts to save people from themselves and from a world that thinks they're
One
shit.
person. That's just one person.
That's one person. It seems almost impossible. That's why we need people like Ray who give a shit and give up their whole lives. They dedicate their whole lives to go and save one person. Are you willing to do it? T, are you willing to do it? Am I willing to do it? Seriously, ask yourself, because it is a messy, disgusting, awful place to go to save a human. It's a terrible place to go. So basically, when this lawsuit comes out, he loses everything in about 12 hours. In a 12-hour news cycle, he loses everything because his credibility is shot. Any people that have come to him before lost their trust in him, and the church abandons him. He's got no one to talk to. He's in complete isolation. It decimates his faith.
They're the first to go, though.
The faith? Oh,
Yeah,
the Christians. Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah, he was surprised by that.
Sarcastic.
Was he being sarcastic?
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I know. I wrote surprised too, but he was actually surprised. I wrote it down, but I think he was actually surprised.
I think he was actually surprised.
I wrote it down
Oh,
as
Ray.
sarcastic.
You're surprised. No one wants you in their corner. God's representation on earth that's turned against you. You don't want to go to bed because you don't want to wake up. That's a terrible life to lead when you're in the front lines of actually saving people. Horrible, debilitating shame all day, every day. And the wreckage, he's standing in the wreckage of his life, which is utter loss. And he literally goes from sort of subject matter expert to pariah overnight. And his voice no longer matters. And then he endures 4 years of shit. And then the lawsuit's dropped. How is that allowed? Like,
What was that 4 years like?
Don't you think it's insane that anyone can bring a lawsuit against you and basically hold this thing over you, and it's making you suffer every day, and it means nothing to them? Ultimately,
Just ruined your life.
it's just like a dot on an I or a cross on a T for them to make sure that their path is clear, but it ruins your whole life.
Mhm.
And then at the end of 4 years, they just go, "Oh, my bad," and drop it.
Oh,
And then you're just supposed to, like, emerge like a baby bird out of a nest and go, "What's next, mama?"
yeah.
We're so fucked up. And he talks about how he read in this book, where do you start from when everything's fucked? T, where do you start from? You start from where you are.
Yeah.
That's how you begin again. What do you think about Ray is very particular about saying you must live in the wreckage of the life that you've destroyed. What do you think about when he says things like that?
I just think you have to go through it. You have to live through it. You gotta experience it. You can't avoid it.
Mm. And he talks about how he doesn't trust people that haven't stood in the wreckage of their own life. It made me think about the fights you fight today or the fights you fight for the rest of your life. That's from a movie called Bottle Rocket, which no one's seen. So what he's lost in all of that, all of this, is to speak, act, and look like a Christian, which amazing. And it wasn't really him to begin with, right? And now he's got this blank slate, and all he wants that slate covered with is truth. He only exists to tell the truth. So the next 2 years, he writes a book, and the book sort of relaunches his career. And the people who he counts on now are people who also can stand in the wreckage of their own lives. And as far as God's concerned, you better step off, God. Oh, you think you're gonna hold my feet to the fire, God? Oh, really? Well, I've got some things to ask you about, my Lord and Savior. Why don't you justify what you've done here, my man, my main Savior, God, man?
Don't be questioning me.
What did you think about that when he was so, um, really acrimonious in describing how he would approach God
Love it.
in his end days?
I mean,
Whereas
if he's gonna believe in God,
believe it,
then yeah, ask him first.
hold him to it.
Yeah.
You failed. You got the Holocaust. We're
Not
looking at
failures.
most of your priests touched kids,
I mean,
and they still continue on. Like, God should answer for your sins, God. What have you done for me lately, God?
why are you asking me?
God.
I haven't done anything wrong compared to you.
Yeah, but it's
It's
like,
a joke, right?
and Ray is completely fair in this point of view. There's too much reverence given to, oh, our holy God, we cannot offend thee. I do not want to offend thee, my Lord. Like, come on.
I mean,
God, I
let's
think
get
God
real.
can handle
Yeah.
I think God can handle being asked why he didn't stop the fucking Holocaust or human slavery in America. Or
Question me.
you. How dare you, Therese?
Can we just?
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I am your savior.
All right.
How dare you question me and how I made graham crackers? You don't know what it takes. Have you had sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's? That shit's not easy.
They never give me sweet and sour sauce.
Well, you gotta.
And they give me barbecue sauce.
Oh, that's not on me. But I have made the sweet and sour sauce and I have called it good, Therese. Yeah, stillness, what is it? I still don't really know what it is. He explained what it is. Do you know what it is? Stillness?
I mean, he said it wasn't meditation, but I was like, it's meditation.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Ready? Okay, everyone, no matter where you are, if you're in your car,
Oh,
don't do it. But if you're not in your car and you can let's just
Just
stop
stillness.
for let's just try
Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, what do we need to know about what stillness is? It's not meditation. It's not thinking of
It's
anything.
an everything.
Yeah, say it in the mic, T. Oh, so it's absence of everything. And it just is. Okay. So let's try it now let's try to do 30 seconds of just, you're not thinking of anything. You're not meditating. You're just being still.
Not meditating, or you're not meditating?
You're not meditating.
Not meditating. Okay.
And you're just being still for 30 seconds and go. Did you do it? That was like 25
I was
seconds.
really happy about.
You were falling asleep.
No, we did room tone.
Oh, you had room tone. Room tone and stillness. Okay. On that note, T, did you have anything else?
That was good.
I'm so glad we got room tone and stillness.
I don't think I got stillness, but I was really happy we got room tone.
Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. Please rate and review us. Thanks to Raymond for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And thanks to This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waits, and the maker of our music and website, Nathaniel Shamboli. And thanks to Cathy Sites for editing this episode, and to Katy Caple for building those Instagram posts. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can contact us at Gmail and find us on Instagram. Visit the show notes for these addresses. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. I love you, T.
Love it, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma bonded.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.